Hello and welcome to round 455. Before I try to make this video successfully, this is a terrible attempt and here we go again. Right, so this is going to be my review of this K&F Carbon Fiber Tripod. I have purchased this basically to replace some cheap tripods. Don't do that yourself. Main reason is, one, they're not as stable. The heads on them, they're not even heads, they're just plates. And as you can see here, it's actually not in focus, but have a look at the gap in between there. You see that? Yeah, that's what happens when you have a slightly bit of a heavier lens on it. This thing is rated at, I think, 12 kg or 15, it's probably 12. My experience with it is you could probably put a lot more securely, but it's obviously not designed for that. The other one, if you put more than about 4 kgs on it, you probably will drop your camera to the ground, and that's the end of that. A very important thing about the legs is they are kind of the screw-on, or the round thing. They loosen up when you tighten that up. I've tried. It is not possible to bring that back. It is very secure, and it seems to be very strong as well. So that's a big plus. It also adjusts here, so you can basically reduce the minimum height of your tripod. I only have it raised at the moment to show you right next to my face. Now, the ball head itself, this is probably the most important part of the tripod. I'll do that in just a second. Quick note about this. This comes with this little adapter thing here. It's going to be put into your camera bag. The ball head is protected by this, not really necessary. But the camera, this is not it. This is the camera, this is the tripod bag. It is padded, which is a nice thing to see. I mean, this is not a super high-end tripod, but it's a padded camera bag, tripod bag. Has those little things here, and you also get a strap with it. So that's nice. Now the strap is fairly long, so you can actually put that over your shoulder without having to have a little tight handbag. Instructions are in English and Chinese. I don't think anybody needs them really. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Now, very important addition is with this adapter is you can unscrew one of the legs, which is the one with the foam handle. You just unscrew it, and you basically put on that. You unscrew the ball head, which I'm not going to do here in front of me, but basically you just unscrew it and you stick it on the top of it, and you've got yourself a monopod. Now, monopods, as you know, are useful for having a bit more still photos if you need to move around a lot. Or, of course, more importantly, video. A lot of people like to use monopods for video because holding it in your hands, especially if you don't have an IS lens, for example, this 24mm f2.8 doesn't have IS, so you have to have it on something more stable. Otherwise, it's just going to have a lot of video shake, and doing that and fixing that post-process is going to cut into your resolution. Not a great idea. Anyways, the tripod head itself. There is 3 little levers here. You can see 2 of them, and there's one on the back here. This one basically locks and unlocks the round movement. Now, I do want to note that if you unlock it, even very loosely, this pans very, very smoothly. Now, this can be useful if you're trying to make a smooth video following a subject, or pretty much any reason. If you just want to move it around, it's smooth, it's perfect. Lock that in place. The second lever is this one on the side here, and I hope you can see it because the TV is a bit in the way. What this one does, of course, is it locks the... I'm going to loosen, tighten this up because it's making noise. It basically loosens up the ball head. Now, one thing to note is this can, on this side, there's a little notch inside this, and you can go full 90-degree vertical, which is a big thing for me. I think it's a big improvement over one of these because... yeah, sure, it does go vertical positioning for the camera, but it does not lock anywhere. You just have to basically adjust it yourself and hope that it is straight, and that's a pain in the backside which you don't want to be dealing with. Now, one bit of criticism for K&F, and I hope you guys are listening. This tripod has a lever for horizontal position, for standard positioning, which is great. You can put the tripod on uneven ground with one of the legs being shorter than the rest of them, and still manage to level it. But this does not work when it's vertical. So you basically have to rely on your own eye level, and as well looking at the camera to make sure. Some cameras do not have a meter. I know the higher end ones do, but that is something that could be added. It'll probably cost an extra 50 cents in manufacturing cost. but it could be a great addition just to add that small bit of extra value to your tripod. Now, next thing we have is, I'll tighten this up and I'll put this, actually I'll put it like this. And this is actually a very important thing for me. This is one of the primary reasons why I got this tripod, and that is because the plate is so secure. It is ridiculous. Now I'm going to completely loosen this up, take this out, show you. I can't bring it too close because it'll be out of focus. Basically, the whole plate is metal. It has these 4 little, I'll do it with reflection, there's 4 little rubber things there which basically prevent the camera from being scratched by the metal, as well as keeping it slightly more damped, because rubber obviously absorbs any shocks. Not a whole lot, but again, look, you're not going to be kicking the tripod while taking photos, but every bit helps. Anything, even the wind or anything like that. As on the back of it, you've got yourself this little thing. Pretty much every tripod has this these days, so that's pretty standard, nothing to talk about. But a great feature, what I do like about this, is these 2 little notches. You'll see them at the sides of this. It's a bit hard to see, but you can probably make them out there. They slot into these 2 little notches at the top, at the bottom and the top of this plate here. And what that does effectively is, this is just a precaution. You shouldn't be doing this, by the way. I do want to stress this. Don't do this on purpose. You shouldn't be doing it. When you put the plate in, if you did not tighten it on purpose or very tightly, or in the long run, if this gets a little bit loose and it unscrews itself a small bit, and it comes to the point where a bit of weight will actually drag the plate down, that plate is not going to just simply slide off. It's just going to sit there, and these notches in either direction are actually going to catch it. So you can see I'm pushing it down. I can push that down as hard as I want, and it just will not budge unless this is even more loose. And then obviously that's your fault. I'm sorry, that's just unfortunate. But yeah, it's just an extra bit of security which you want to have, and this is seriously an important thing about a tripod, is to have security. That's what you're getting it for, to be stable, to be strong, and of course you don't want to be dropping your equipment if you made a small mistake. So that's pretty much that. Now, I did do a bit of astrophotography with this. I don't actually. I'll do a sample image. I have availability of it on my Instagram. I'll bring it up here. You'll see it underneath the video, and basically, it just lets you do anything you want with perfectly stable performance. The tripod did really well. It wasn't a super windy night, so I don't really have any experience with it being super windy. I'm sure that if it's very windy, your camera is probably going to be catching wind and doing a bit of vibration anyways, but it did perform well, didn't cause any vibration, sturdy. I tried to put it down on the basically these levers here. I have to put a foot away from focus because I'm on manual focus at the moment. Basically, they unlock in a way so you can so you have to pull it down and then bring it back up. So there's 3 levels. So there's super high. There is this really wide angle. So this is great if you're not in great conditions and you need to have a super steady base. Basically, this just makes your legs wider, and that will of course keep the tripod a lot sturdier in the long in your performance as well. Now, next thing we have is actually I honestly don't know what you'd use this for. I mean, unless you again want to go even sturdier, or if you want to lower the tripod a certain amount. Actually, I don't think you would be able to. So let's do that. Oh, you would. Yeah, you would. Sure, you would. So if you have it like this, basically you have a baseline of height. It is absolutely low. It's just the height of this pole here. And I suppose you could have a super sturdy tripod. I probably wouldn't use it like this, to be honest. I don't know what exactly you'd be using this for. But when this folds away anyways, that's the next step. And that is where it just folds upwards. And you do all 3 like that, you got yourself a super compact tripod. I'll actually do it right now. Put this away like that. And I'm very surprised at the build quality, because yeah, this is not a cheap tripod, but it's certainly sturdy and well made. And this is actually quite small in comparison. I'll actually undo this cheap tripod. Let's see how they compare in size wise. So again, you have to deal with this annoying thing. So size does head-to-head comparison, lengthwise, it's actually about 5 centimeters shorter, so it might not be a big deal for everyone, but hey, every bit of space counts as well. And weight wise, it is a bit heavier because there's a lot of metal in it, and that's understandable and more appreciated by me. At least I like to have a metal tripod because well, in this case carbon fiber is, to be precise. It's just sturdier. I think this is a fantastic purchase. I'm pretty happy that I did it, and I regret not doing it before because I unfortunately spent about 55, 60 pounds on cheap tripods, which are actually going to go to the bin after this. I'll probably donate them to my brother or something who might want to use these. I absolutely have no use for them. I'll never trust them again, and I'll just go with this one. No. Is this the tripod for you? I honestly don't know. It could be. If you're looking for kind of entry-level professional gear without spending £300-400, yes, there are tripods for about £300-400. If you don't want to spend that, this is probably the product for you. It's sturdy, it's strong, it's good quality, very well made. I think I did mention the slight quality control issue that they have. It's really picking, but I won't be able to show you now, but it's really picking at the fact that, you know what, I'll turn on the autofocus and let's move that in very close there. Now, I don't know if that's showing, but the plastic here is not super 100% accurate. Is that a problem? It doesn't look fantastic when you look that close into it. Are you ever going to look that close into it? Probably not. It doesn't make a difference to performance? Absolutely not. But it's just something to moan about, I suppose, because we like to moan. So that's pretty much it. I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you're interested in it, absolutely leave me a thumbs up on the video. That'll be appreciated. If not, then look, whatever you choose, make sure to not go for a cheap tripod. You don't want to go for one of them 25-30 pounds. They're not worth it. They will be a headache in the long run. They'll break, they will underperform, they'll give you mini heart attacks every time your camera or your camera is about to fall off, and you don't want to risk it. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I hope this has been useful. Good luck.